Apparition is a hero that likes to shoot his ults out whenever he has them. So in order for that to happen, they can't just sit back and wait for a Shaker blink timing, right? So Ember really makes up for Shaker's weaknesses. Position for Monkey King, actually.
Closing thoughts
on kind of 5 Mars.
Closing thoughts on what you love about OG, please.
I love OG's pace here. They can play super fast. Crosswix Invoker, Ursa Wisp. There's so much tempo. Tusk. Secret's lineup needs a little bit more time to build up, so I think OG are going to play super hyper aggressive in this game, play very explosive Dota. If Secret can weather the storm and get later, I think their strategy is most likely going to win this game. Okay. So a very clear contrast between the two styles here with aggression versus more tempered gameplay.
And you asked about weaknesses in particular. I would just say that OG does have to play very well around these first couple of Aegises.
So you heard my panelists' conclusions, but there's one man that I can't have on panel because it's just a bit too valuable. His name is psg, and he'll be giving you the last word for today.
Thank you very much, Brian. Yes, looking forward to this one massively. Secret versus OG up here in the upper bracket. Fog, we've had the draft in front of us.
Yep.
What are you excited to see? I'm already seeing so much that I'm sure the fans of both teams at home are going to be very excited for this match.
Lots of combo plays, lots of speed, especially from the side of OG, as panel has been saying, and like Brian did tick it off. Very kind of different styles that we'll be going for. Obviously, OG is going to be looking to set pace with this Ursa, with this Invoker moving around the map, but it's different. It's this fun that we're starting to get to see from them so much. It's the IO3.
Yes, so, and I mean, we saw sort of course, OG do this before.
Yep.
And this game again, why do you feel it worked so well for them here in this first match against Secret?
I think it's just something they're super comfortable with. Seb's been playing it so many times, and they've always been a team about amping up their carries, right? What better than having like an IO that gets these high levels, fast-paced, like level 4 overcharge online, tether as well. You get items faster, your mech, your holy lock, hot lock it. You set the tempo even faster as a 3-position IO than you were like a 5. Sure, mech is really cheap, so we see it picked up very early anyway on those like 5 IOs, but now it's like Seb is going to have it, and he's going to have these crazy levels that increases the healing as well, because that's what tether does when you get levels. So,
and you do sort of agree with Cinder in the sentiment, really. He says very much, you know, you're looking at this game, this draft, and we know, of course, how OG likes to play.
Yep.
OG this game, they are going to want to, and they kind of need to play fast, because down the line with this more Shaker is, you just don't want to sort of get yourself into territory where you're having to deal with the fact that one of your heroes might get one shot.
Absolutely, and they're just going to get this crazy scaling. The team fight also, if you just look from Secret, it's a bit stronger as the game does progress. Once you start getting these levels on that Shaker, the AA, even the support Monkey King, it just starts to make everything a bit of a disaster for OG. But if they get a good tempo set, they have a good gold lead, then they're going to be able to still chain these kills. But we'll see if they can do that. But they do have the lineup to be able to, and tag team, overcharge, Ursa, Alacrity, you know, Roche is going to die quite a lot of times in this game.
Absolutely, and we're definitely going to see OG get a lot of usage, as you say, out of those sort of early brawling abilities that are really going to amp them up and make it rather hard for Secret to go toe-to-toe with them in the sort of the earlier half of the game. Do apologize, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a brief pause. I believe that the teams are just getting themselves ready and all sorted so we can get tucked in for a whole complete game of Dota 2, which, as I say, you know, we're going to have action from the minute one, really.
Yes,
with this,
exactly. I'm wondering if, let's see, we'll probably see level 1 smoke from
Absolutely.
OG. They've got tag team, they've got IO. they've got the stronger level 1, even though sometimes it's a bit awkward because you have something like an IO and you're running to like Shaker. There's a Monkey King and an AI on the other side. There's a Morphling on the other side. So OG is going to look to hit hard right from the start of this game. And let's see if they do some, like, maybe, I wouldn't say like tri-lane or anything like that, but maybe just for the start, get a quick early kill on the Morphling, then swap the lane up. Could definitely see a possibility from the IO, the Tusk, and the Mars, since Tusk just works so good when you have so many more heroes for tag team.
Yeah. And still looking at the mid lane, you know, Nisha versus Thompson here on the Ember versus Invoker. How do you expect that one to go, right? Thompson's not going to be too upset with the matchup, right? He's going to...
He should be okay.
Invoker, you can play around with the Ember quite a bit.
Yeah, you've got a little bit of, you got like good base damage. Sure, your Flame Guard's going to get dispelled in some situations, but you should be able to get these last hits. You're going to be able to pull creeps back, and, you know, water runes are a thing. So all these heroes that can still go for the bottle, like Ember Spirit when you're playing versus Invoker, you're going to have that good sustain that just comes from it naturally. Well, he doesn't. So I know Brian was heavily talking about Saksa in this upcoming game, and I think we'll probably see him a lot of times looking to make those moves around those water runes early on, even the 6-minute rune.
I mean, and the same to be said for Yaps on the Monkey King, or is he going to be more needed in the lane, really? Is he going to have as much freedom as Saxa is to sort of roam around and look towards that mid to help sort of push the matchup in their favor?
I think it's more going to be Saksa checking, but yeah, he'll check. He'll check as well on Yapzor. I think he'd like to stay with the Shaker, just as this melee versus Ursa. You don't want to leave him completely alone, right? So, even though Shaker has done really well versus most of these melee matchups, Ursa can take advantage of it. Just one little pin from the Mars, even though it's a 5 position, and you should have the chase if there's no Monkey King there. So, here we go.
Well, indeed, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The G has been called in chat. We are getting this match underway. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 of Secret versus OG here in the upper bracket, and indeed, of course, smokes up straight away from both teams. Oh yeah, has a lot of potential for quite an early first blood this game.
Let's see if anybody scouts, if anybody breaks it. Of course, we have Yapzor as this courier dressed up, so maybe he'll be able to scout something for his team to allow them to dodge that quick aggression that's going to come. And let's see.
OG coming for the long way round here. They could get the good approach onto the high ground.
Immediately skills Cold Snap. That's the other thing too. Just always want to point out, some Invokers we have seen at this tournament are skilling the Wex level 1 to get the EMP for the lane. That tells me even more they want to find the battle. And we're ready. I mean, the taunts, of course, come out from Seb, claiming that high ground. And Secret doesn't want to fight. They know that it's too strong.
Absolutely not. No, you don't want to run into OG level 1. No. Especially when they've got the heroes they do this game.
See, Yapzor also continuing. He's the courier form. He brings his courier out so that he's going to be able to turn back into courier form as well later on, so he can keep using that. That's why you see it pulled out of the base so early. Something we're seeing a lot more players do.
And overall as well, you know, this game, what's sort of your feeling from the drafts? Like, do you prefer the approach of one of the teams this game?
I've been a bigger fan of speed lately. Yeah. It's going to have to be speed and few mistakes, though, because I've seen very similar drafts like this also from, you know, we got to cast that LGD Elephant game where they had that enormous gold lead the entire game, and then one little slip up, the Morphling, and the combo just ends up taking... That one was a Morph and a Willow, which also is incredibly powerful, but Morph and Shaker has its similarities. So for me, I mean, it's pretty easy, even. It all depends on how the pace of the game starts going. Because if OG gets ahead, they can dictate pace and play around their low cooldowns. If Secret gets ahead early, then I think it might be a little tough for OG to bring it back. Level 1 Puppy gets gone on from tag team, instant TP, back to the lane.
That sort of eyes, as I say, both side lanes. I mean, which side lane is the most volatile, do you think? Who's got to be the most careful on this first couple of levels?
I feel like top has crazy potential of kills just because it's the double melee. Yeah, so it just makes 1 or 2 wrong steps. Same thing for No Tail. There's Jingu skilled right away on the Monkey King too, so that's probably the most volatile for me. Bottom, the Io and Tusk have great kill potential on the AA. However, on the Morphling, I think Matu should be able to hold his own, because once he gets his like level 2, level 3, he's going to have a disengage, and he's also just going to have that incredible attribute shift.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, this top lane, yeah, the fact that you have this Monkey King Shaker against the 2 melees, I guess same could be said for the Mars and the Ursa. A lot of, you know, potential to battle back, but for sure, you're going to see both teams taking early swipes at each other.
Stick is going to be really valuable up there for Zai. He started with it. He's playing versus the Rebuke. Even we expect that Earthshock to come out from the Ursa early on too. So they're going to have a lot of mana to work with. And yeah, I'd say Secret, I give them a slight edge in the laning phase with their heroes the way it's set up at the moment.
so far, top. Yeah, might have to be careful there, good Fisher. It's going to put a stop to any aggressive chase there from the two of OG. Mid lane Nisha having to play a little careful. He's got some regen out on the way, but rather low at the moment in that matchup so far. 8 for 2, 7 for 1. Pretty even here in the mid.
Thompson's gone just straight for damage. Doesn't finish up the null, just finished up a Robe of the Magi. I feel like he might go something like a drum. We've been seeing it from him quite a lot this tournament, and when he has the IO and it's all about pace, I think that's something he might be thinking about.
Oh, and there we have it, actually, bottom lane. Seb, he's the one to get first blood. Is he actually going to get Saxa out as well? He is. The heals are enough. Saxa doesn't even go down as we see action on both side lanes pretty much kicking off at the same time. But, of course, OG, they were the ones to get the kill first.
Bit of a slip up there. I think Matu missed the waveform onto Saxa to get that trade kill. And as we said, Puppy, he's the one who's going to have to eat the brunt of the force most of the time from this tag team. He is securing the farm for Matu, but he's going to die most likely a lot of the times he does go down there.
Matu definitely having to be careful, but so far the first wave, even though losing the support by his side, free farm for the Morph down here, 14 for 5.
And Sumail struggling since he's got that double melee versus the Monkey King who's holding skill point too. Yapsor maybe deciding if he has another opportunity to...
Just get pushed back by the spear there. Won't latch though. The Fisher out. Sumail and Noto, they want to try and get Yapsor. Sumail looking to close in with the barrel. Strikes up. Yapsor turns into the tree. They take down Noto. Now he's going to look over towards Sumail. They've got him stunned. Oh, Sumail does get the kill. Can Zai get him in return? He can't. Sumail's got the boots, the movement speed. He'll make it away. So a trade up there on the top lane. But of course, Sumail may survive, but he's left in pretty bad shape there after that bruise up and still struggling to come to the lane for CS. Struggling the most out of all the cores here in the early game, Sumail.
And Zai's always got mana to work with. That's what we're mentioning. These stick charges, he's always got a fissure, he's always got enchant totems. It's a tough one for Sumail.
And Yapsor may have died, but of course able to head over towards the mid. Get Nisha topped up and well.
That's where those deaths are kind of valuable. When you have bottle mids, you can always fill them up. Unlike for the Invoker, they can't fill up Thompson's. He doesn't have one, obviously.
I mean, what?
Okay.
We have to control the water in here. What can they do about this top lane, OG? Can they make any sort of alterations to get this better for Sumail, or do they just have to tank this really rough start for the Ursa?
I think they have to tank it at bottom. Puppy, get it going on.
Let's see if they can take it this time down. The damage from the tag team, it's enough here, Seb. Last hit comes in from the Iowa. Seb certainly off to a hot start indeed. I mean, maybe it will Taxa. Matu's got to be cautious.
He's very low.
Seb just sort of beating back into him, stopping Matu from being able to get in and get the trade kill. Sinisha attempt to get aggressive mid with the chains.
Thompson, he's got some creeps on him too. Said low on, he doesn't have enough mana.
Fairy Fire, oh, keep him topped up. Thompson's still alive for now. Nisha, can he still get in this? 11 of a slight chains in about 8 seconds. Thompson's still hanging around. In fact, he's got a stoke, but he has enough to get into the Ghost Walk. Thompson will stay alive.
Really pushing the limit there, though.
Yeah, he
reveals himself.
Oh, Nisha's going to want to dive back in. He's got the slight chains. Thompson, now with the flame guard up, Nisha's going to have the damage. Thompson there making a bit of a mistake, getting greedy, trying to reveal himself to keep hitting the creeps, but he had no regen and no chance against Nisha with the second round of spells with the abilities of the Ember.
And Nisha's able, after that kill, walks into the enemy high ground on the triangle and also gets himself a bounty. So that's very fortunate for him. And yeah, big mistake there from Thompson.
I mean, it's, so far, just a 1k lead, but you saw it there in the CS. All 3 of Secret's cores across the board, getting solid farm in the lanes, whereas OG, they're having a bit of a slower time in the mid and that top lane.
And Secret's the one who, as we were mentioning, later game scaling is really good. You see this Morphling having a way better start than the Ursa. It's definitely some concern. So I think Saxa, he's going to have to be the one that we look at to kind of fix these lanes up for the team. Seb's done pretty damn good, but he's going to have to especially help out Sumail up top.
Absolutely. We've got to see big moves from Saxa.
Yeah. It's only level 3 too. It's not like he has this insane type of level advantage where you see some of these 4 positions have. Yapsor is actually level 4 before Saxa hits it, so a little bit harder to make all those aggressive moves when you don't have all 3 of your early abilities, like the snowball, especially versus something like Earthshaker and Monkey King. Snowball, very useful.
That's Thompson.
Nice to
get in and take that away from Nisha. Just looking for the bottle refill.
Yeah, just not slowing down Matumba, man. A definite concern.
Sumail starting to get a bit more space. The pressure's definitely begun to lessen a little bit top with Yapsor making those movements over towards the mid. So a bit of breathing room for the Ursa here.
Only for a second or so, because Zai is going to hit 6 really soon. We'll see him make the move, Matu.
I'm going to try and go on Matu. Not quite enough damage there to stop him from shifting. Still have to chase down with the tag team. It's not enough. He's got the strength built up. Matu will be able to walk away.
Zai Zai likely to be 6 after this lane, and that's where Sumail's going to have a lot of difficulty as he's still not level 6 on the Ursa.
Oh, absolutely.
He's double melees up there.
The walk in for a potential slam could be deadly.
Does have his treads picked up, so he's a little bit tankier once he's got them on strength.
On No Tail.
No Tail.
Just struggling to sort of trade with Yapzor. Spears off the mark. TP's coming in here for OG. Thompson, he's in with the backup. He's coming to try and rectify this top lane for OG. Catch onto Yapzor. He'll set up for a kill between the three of them, and this very much needed. OG, they've got to try and get this top lane in a better condition.
And he's got the urn picked up at a perfect time so he can make that move, and immediately he does queue up the drum. As expected, you know, we've seen him do it a couple of times now, especially when they have the IO lineup, and as we said, OG, the slow start is here, but the pace of the game is going to get picked up incredibly fast.
Yes, you know, you sort of blink and you miss it sometimes with the speed that OG sort of goes from 0 to 100. So it could absolutely still happen here in this early game. Still early days. 7 minutes in, 3 to 4. Less than 1k lead at the moment for Secret. There's still absolutely potential for OG to just explode in these early moments.
Yapzor making the move down bottom. They see him with the wards, but he's here already.
Yeah, they get a good primal spring jumping onto the two of them. Nice snowball off to the side. Saxo able to separate them a little bit, but now let's see if they get into Matuma Man turning into the touch there to use the snowball against OG. Closes in on Seb, gets the kill, and Yapzor might not even be done. He's got another spring in a few seconds. Does he want to go up into the triangle? He does. He's keeping his eyes on Saxa. Not quite land with the slow though, and Saxa will manage to make it back to the safety of his tower with that. But still, as to Seb, the off-lane IO taken out of the lane here.
More space for Matu to heal back up to full from the Morbid Mask. Zai playing careful top, level 7 already. Very close to his blink tag already. 800 off with the treads. Sumail's just had to leave the lane. I don't think he wants to be up there anyway, and they need to start getting better levels on the two supports for the side of OG. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to do that run-at strategy that they want to do in the next few moments.
And Yap's already been quite the nuisance for OG here, just sort of jumping around with the vision he's giving. And OG, at least with the two of them, Saxa and Seb, struggling to really get their hands on this Monkey King in the trees, bouncing around.
Seb already has Holy Locket done, so that's what we were talking about, where you get these items so much faster as this offlane. Got to be able to make some nice aggressive moves, but they're on him.
He's going to try and go, but a quick tether over to Saxa will break the distance.
He's too fast.
Doesn't even want to commit further there. Yapzor knows, even with the boundless strike, they just don't quite have the damage, even with the three of them, to blow up Seb whilst he has Saxa by his side.
Not quite yet. Puppy still only level 5. I thought they were going to actually move the Morphling out of the lane and then send the AA bottom to get that 6 early on to deter OG from going that run at you, since once they have AA 6 also, you know, Holy Locket is online for IO, but that's going to be counteracted quite heavily when Puppy does get 6.
Absolutely, yeah. If he can land these blasts, it will be a complete thorn in the side here for the way that OG want to fight in that mid game.
And they have setup, right? They have Shaker Fissure, they have Chains, they have Monkey King Bound the Strike, a lot of different ways for them to set up that blast. That's 10 minutes.
Looking over towards Nisha, but in fact, Nisha is going to be able to set up anything on them. No, doesn't want to try. Thompson to get the initial grab here. Nice EMP. Oh, he was waiting for it. Sumail, he was ready. Sumail, if he gets this, it's going to be a lovely kill here for the pair. Sumail set up in perfect position. You know, he's had a bit of a sad time in the jungle, but he's able to head over to the mid lane, get a kill on Nisha. Top lane as well, OG, they turn over towards Zai. Have a little bit of a wait there to really amp up that final blow there that No Tail delivers to Zai.
Zai used Echo up there too, and they were able to sustain up from the IOTP. Then now it's going to be on cooldown for a very long time, which is going to be a signal to OG.
Yeah, I mean, this is
to run.
Look at Sumail now. We saw how rough of a start he had. He's second highest in the net worth there, getting that pick up from that huge kill on Nisha in the mid.
And they're pressuring bottom now with the 5 position Mars with the IO. Matu's had to leave the lane.
You can feel it, that the pressure, it's building up from OG. It really is. Thompson getting deep in the jungle, looking for Puppy. Has his mana gone? Has he got enough damage on his own? And it's the Ursa ticking out. Backup comes in. He gets the kill, Thompson, but it looks like he's probably going to die for this, as he's trying to escape them, but there is no running from Zai, Nisha, and Yapzor. So he gets in, he gets a kill, but maybe a little too deep that time from Thompson.
He did force 4 heroes there, though.
I guess that's space.
Space for IO to get the finished farm bottom, Tusk to get the levels top, Ursa to get more farm too. So at the end of the day, it's a Thompson move. Because that's what he likes to do. Sacrifice himself for the greater good. Zai does have a Blink Dagger finished up, though, off of that kill. So there is going to be some responses that come out from Secret after they get those kills. Also, a Maelstrom finished up on the Ember, so Secret does have a bit of a timing where they can fight back. That's the one thing, is we were talking about how OG is looking to set tempo constantly with this fast-paced draft, but it's not like Secret isn't going to be able to fight back with their heroes.
Absolutely not. Yeah, Secret, they'll certainly be ready to have a shot back at them. Let's see if they can set up to sort of make a jump and a good reveal with that Blink Dagger on Zai's Shaker. Smoke up already. In fact, from Yapsor and Nisha, they're leading the way up top. It's just Saxter up here at the moment, soaking up some XP around the tower. Matu's starting to take the tower. They'll dive in straight away. Set up there with the chains, in with the Remnant. TP's coming in. It's actually going to continue Thompson. He does want to try and look for the counterplay. Rugos command is down. Jump off the side. Nisha is able to break away with that last bit of mana. Ice Blast comes crashing straight over the Seb. Headshot there from Puppey. As he lands it on the IO, no healing for Seb. Seb's out. Thompson trying to run, but the sentries, there are plenty here from Secret. So they lay them both down. Thompson, he's got the move speed though to get out of the range, so Thompson will sneak away. But a big hit there from Secret up on the top lane, and that's the move you said. They knew that OG, despite losing Saxter at the start, OG's the kind of team that will turn up and try and fight around that tier 1. Secret, they were prepared completely for that.
And look at the pace. They're smoking again instantly though. The smoke's going to break.
It is. They know they're in the pit. Puppey's going to know exactly what's going on. Surely. Smoke dispels. He checks it out. This is risky from Samael and Saxter. They've got to run. He's in! Catches the two, and they'll jump over the road and boundless straight follow-up. They're both dead!
And it's half HP. They might consider even going for it themselves if they get some more follow-up kills.
He's ready to chase up to the high ground. Thompson and Seb will be able to hold them back. Quick slide from Nisha keeps them low, but Seb will heal the two of them up. But as you say, Roshan is in a bit of a juicy position here for Secret. It's still not too easy for them to really go for it, though.
Yeah. Big hit though. Nisha with some really nice individual plays there, dodging out the EMP, dodging out the Mars ult and everything around that tower, setting them up now for a 2K lead and still looking to respond.
Trying to set things up there, No-Tail. Quick poke stops Matu from being able to lead in.
That hurts OG quite a lot.
Oh, and it was a risky play there, trying for that Roche. A very, very risky move. Does not pay off. Secret shut it down.
And they weren't even looking for the rush. They were just smoking to move across the map, and they're like, oh, wait a minute, look at that. So very fortunate for the side of Team Secret, having a haster now on the Ember Spirit Zai, as we mentioned. Echo Slam still on cooldown, but they've responded in great force versus the aggression of OG. Even though the relocating the numbers are attempted to be there from OG, Secret was ready. And as you mentioned, the snipe, of course. Puppey getting that big AA blast on the IO. That's going to be the crucial thing.
He's going to do every time, yeah.
This IO, if you look at 20 Holy Locket plus mech, he's going to be able to let full heal anybody they do go on, unless that AA blast does come over.
Absolutely, all about Puppey getting that hit in. I see OG. I think they pretty much have the defusal done on Samael, so yeah, it's just a few hundred gold off it. Any sort of other items at this stage that each team is waiting upon to have their sort of next power spike?
I don't think so at all. I think that
they just go when they want.
Secret is extremely happy with this pace of the game right now. Morphling, like Matu's just getting to free farm while they're also still defending towers. I think OG just needs to keep looking to make these plays. I think if they sit back and look to wait for something, the game's going to quickly fall out of their favor. I mean,
well, yeah, as you say, you're seeing more for the top net worth here, yes. And if that's happening, Secret's happy.
Yep, they've got defusal now. They got a medallion also on the Invoker. This is another go time. Smoke up, look for a play immediately with this.
There we go, in immediately from OG, Seb. Samael and No-Tail. Seb, of course, ready to take Samael in with a relocate if No-Tail finds a solid setup for the arena.
They have to start finding these big kills. Slow down the Morphling, slow down the Ember Spirit. Still difficult, though.
Okay. Go for the D ward here, so Secret will be aware that they're coming in from the side. Secret grouping up here in preparation for some sort of jump from OG.
And they've got the big ultis. That's the one thing of Secret, especially if they've got the high ground advantage. They have those humongous team fight ultimates in comparison. OG a lot more limited because it's a 5-position Mars who has to walk his way in to try to place his arena.
I mean, some nice little moves there from Saxon, moving himself and all illusions independently there. So Secret did have to guess a bit what was happening. Samael's trying for the Roche again. He's in the pit. He's getting bashed. He will be able to jump out there away from the Fisher. But I mean, they really want to try and get this for Samael, but again, it's just such a risk when Secret's all up at the moment. As you say, Secret, they're more than happy to jump in for the fight. I don't know if you're ever going to be able to get Roshan like this if you're OG.
But they have have to. That's the lineup. They need to get that Roshan advantage for the Ursa. That's why you see both teams just heavily emphasizing in the area. But yeah,
Secret's not going to let him.
Secret's got this Ice Vortex, 40 mana. I mean, Puppey can pretty much infinitely throw it in there to get the scout if he's in the area.
It's very hard for OG to find. They need to get some sort of action first.
Showing the IO top, Seb. So have to be a bit careful of his positioning. He's split away from the Ursa too, so that means the relocate play is not going to be available for OG to get the numbers. So Secret, they're looking to catch him when he's split away.
If they can get the setup a little too deep here, TP immediately comes in from Saxa. Rest of OG stunning the head up as well. So Secret, they won't dive any further. Yeah, as long as Secret can sort of keep the pressure on, keep OG distracted and away from Matu, they're only going to be able to increase that lead that Matu has. Already about 1k ahead of the farmer Sumail. Matu much more happier to just spend time hitting the creeps. He is going to step at OG right on the shadow here. And Matu knows. He's keeping it cautious, keeping it cool, and making sure that OG can't get the jump on it.
He's going to have his Manta done any second now. And then he's going to go straight for that Aghanims afterwards, as we expect with that Earthshaker combos. And as we've seen to expect and come to expect from Topson when he's playing this Invoker, he sometimes does go for this more buff-up strategy, just the Alacrity plus that Solar Crest to make his Ursa, or whichever X carry, that much stronger.
Absolutely, just give Sumail the best game he can possibly give him.
Yep. No-tail sneaking in, but he's under vision.
I'm going to start things on him. He'll put the arena, but a quick jump from Nisha. Dodges the spear. Backup's coming in from the side. Thompson buffed up by Seb as they look to lead in. Saxa, he's caught Sai as well at the top left to stop Sai from being able to get the jump in. He has to be down. Sai's out of mana. Seb caught by the chains, hit by the blast as Seb goes down.
Nisha, time and time again this game, dodging the spears, dodging the Marzolds, dodging the EMPs, just being a rightful nuisance for OG.
A good read from Saxa, though. That fight could definitely have gone a whole lot worse for OG. Saxa just making sure that he can find Zai's Shaker at every possibility.
Zai's resetting though, going back to base, healing up, and he's still got Echo Slam. They didn't have to commit anything big on the side of Secret. AA Blast still cooldown for 30 though.
I mean, OG's still trying to fight into it. See Saxa and Thompson coming up behind him. He's going to jump, start the fight straight away. The Invoker snowball over from Saxa. Gets the time for Thompson to reset. Matu, wait for his inside. Trapped in the shards, he'll get taken down. We've got Tomark up down. Nisha with a newly picked up BKB. He's ready to brawl. Runs down Saxa, turns over towards Sumail. Sumail trying to put the erase to get out of there. OG, have they got any backup for Sumail? Sent back out with a relocate. Sumail now without the ult, he's in trouble. Matu turns into the touch, use the shot, but Sumail's able to earthshock out of there. Yamsel up into the sky, but they cut him down. They cut him down for the tree. Spear comes down. Ice Block, Boundless strike straight on the Thompson, but Thompson, he's still trying to turn and fight. He can't survive for it all. He'll go down. Motel over to Yamsel. Sumail, he's on top of Puppey. Puppey to full it. OG will come out top of this fight.
Right next to Roche as well.
This is what they were looking for. A huge fight for OG. Sets up the Roche with 3 still dead on Secret. There's no stopping OG from taking this.
And Thompson ate the brunt of the force, but the AA Blast, as we mentioned, it's got it nerfed so many times in the past, was still on cooldown for a good 20 seconds when they initially jumped Thompson. The heals come out, and then they're able to pretty decently turn the fight. Matu's still alive, though, does get a kill, and no-till while the Roche is claimed by Sumail. But a pretty solid fight for OG, all things considered. When it's a BKB reveal on Nisha, and the Wukong's command was there layered from the whole fight.
I mean, it looked like it was going to fall apart for OG as well. You see this chase. Matu was a cool move here as the Tusk trying to control Sumail, but he couldn't. Good control as well, taking Yamsel out of the trees, stopping that spring jump forward, which would have allowed them to kill Thompson off much quicker.
That spear was huge.
As OG, that was exactly the fight they needed here to begin to get that momentum, that sort of power back under their wings.
And look at this, Sumail is going to go straight for that Aghanims build on the Ursa. Just more survivability. He's going to be able to constantly be that rightful nuisance inside the fights, stick on targets. Again, the bottom.
Oh, goodbye, Thompson. Down along his own. I mean,
reload.
He might be in trouble as well. They try and come in to help out. He's pretty tanky, not tanky enough to deal with Forest Secret beating him down. They got to get out of there, the rest of OG. No fight to be had. There's a bit of a slip up, and Seb getting baited into it as well.
Can't make too many of those mistakes. Even though you've got this Aegis and all that, you know, you've got this quick pace lineup, you don't want this game to drag on. You don't want to allow this Morphling to finish up and farm that Aghanims, which he is going to get eventually in this game. He's already got one component. So they've got the blink now on no-tail, so just keep going. And that's the one thing, is they have to still look to keep making these plays, even if they do lose Thompson every now and then. It's just what they have to do with their draft. Otherwise, as we say, they will get outscaled.
Well, let's see how much they can get done with this Aegis.
See how much they can get done.
Blink. 3 minutes to really push the issue here for OG.
See what No-Tail finds with his blink review.
Set up mid. Trying to look for the jump at No-Tail. He's in with the counter, but comes into the arena. But is there actually any backup? I don't know if there is. No-Tail just ends up dying immediately after he looks to initiate. Yapzor and Zai, they are low. Saxa, he's got the catch straight over the wall side. Zip fall from Matu, though Matu's ready to turn and fight back. Another kill in for Zai. Zai will survive. James knocking down the two of them, and Seth comes in with a heel. Thompson back up to full HP. He got the move coming out, but immediately put to a stop. Matu focused out by Samael. They're ready to try for more. Yapzor passing off to the side of the corner now. Nisha, he's in trouble. He's trying to remnant out of it. Will have enough mana to jump over to the side. They're looking to hunt him down. They know he's gone south. They're checking out the high ground with the sun strike. Samael closing the gap again. Yapzor with the balance with the trees, holds back the bear.
Poppy also outside.
I mean, underneath the tower, it's a little deep here for OG. Jump forward, see Samael. And get Zai here, he's got the heel of Seb. Samael actually going to live. He's actually going to live here. Triple kill, they might get the Yapzor as well. He's been caught off the trees. Another. Samael with the ultra kill. Getting it done here. OG turn it up. They look for the fight with the Aegis. They've still got that Aegis ready for another round. Samael getting some huge kills there. Nearly level 18. And now we can look to start working on that BKB.
Look at the damage he was able to do in the fight. It looked a little weird because No-Tail starts the fight and they didn't have the backup initially, but in the midst of the fight, don't know if everybody saw it on the side of the cameras, the IO Spirits clipped the Shaker. Zai actually echoed the floor when they were trying to make the big go onto Ursa. Either way though, there was still an Aegis, they were still getting all the full heal. OG getting this big ramp up going for them, and I do believe Secret needs to be a little bit more careful with their Ice Blasts. They just throw it out the Thompson every single time, but it's got a 60-second cooldown. There's likely only one going to be in every single one of these team fights. They have to prioritize it on the big heals. As we've seen Seb now just chunk up his teammates with that. And Thompson is the sacrifice.
There we go. OG. No slowing down, of course, from this squad.
Nope.
1-5 finishes, they're already thinking about how they're going to start the next shot. Onto Matu
right away.
Got the cold snap, good vision from Zai, holds back the three, waveform out, the snowball's going to be there to chase up with the high ground. Samael, he still wants to go, he's still going in, he's diving in onto Matu, the swipe's built up, Samael takes him down. Back to the low ground, Nisha managed to get out of the back lines, kills off No-Tail with the BKB looking to commit, kills off Thompson as well. Samael, still 40 seconds on the Aegis, Yaps off in the tree line, lines up under the two, Saxa, buying time with the snowball. He's going to be earning pretty deep here, Saxa, but Samael, meanwhile, finding Zai underneath the tier 2, and Saxa, he's also going to be able to walk out of it.
He's got his blink now. Oh boy, OG really starting to find their footing, and with the blink too, now there's more ways to save his teammates from combo plays. With Aghanims on Ursa, how are they going to combo Samael down?
Yeah,
he can just pop the enrage every single time when he's getting gone on. This is going to be a bit of a problem because they don't have any forms of silence at all on their team. So Enrage, of course, could be able to get popped whenever you are stunned up because of that Ags. This is problematic for Secret. He's such a big Ursa.
He really is. He played it so cool in the early game. That's that pent-up rage from suffering in that sort of laning phase where he couldn't hit the CS. Is coming out now for Samael.
Yeah, level 20 already at this point. And he's not letting Matu have a fun time in the fights. Even though Matu did have such a good time in the early game, the Ursa just staking on him. The defusal is a problem.
Yeah, Matu has to run every time. He cannot fight back against this Ursa. Thompson. He's not going to be able to get the catch. Nisha is prepared for this.
Didn't get to touch on this either. If we look at Yapzor, he's going for a very greedy build. We've seen a couple times the Aetoses into Gleipnirs. I think we saw a couple Orchid rushes, I think on Crit as this 4 position. He's going for the late game. He's going for the Scotty. He's going to be able to apply it to everybody. The slow, the reduced healing as well from the IO2 in the team fight. So as it progresses, as we mentioned, Secret's going to be strong, but
Saxa's going to find him. Puppy's got a fair bit of damage as well. Saxa, he'll the cold V here with a snowball. Thompson, he'll be able to put a stop to the TP. No escape for Puppy.
Secret's trying to, I think, slow down a little bit here and get those items finished up, in particular the Ags on Morphling as well. It's very close to it.
And as you were saying, not far off the Scotty, just about 1,000.
It's pretty close. Seb now has his own BKB, so it's going to be tough to focus fire him anyway. If they can get the AA blast coverage, if they can get a stun initially on him, then it'll work. But if he gets the BKB off pre-initiations, then it's probably going to be really hard for Secret to bring down the main focus targets that he's tethered to.
I mean, for OG, Is it sort of waiting for the next rush? Do they need to go before, or can they afford to sort of wait, get that Aegis, and then look to make the move again?
No, I think just keep looking for fights. If they run into you, you look for the battle. You've got so many ways to protect your core. Sumail likely won't die no matter what happens because they can't initiate Hunt him cleaning now because of that Ags that he went for. I really like the pickup this time around that he went for it, since there is no silence that he has to worry about. Always can get your enrage off, always can allow your IO and your teammates to come back you up.
Got their eyes on no tail bottom.
Cool. Bit patient for him. And there's the Axe. So Matsu, only level 17, so not quite that permanent uptime that we always talk about from level 18 plus that morph timing, or he will always be in Shaker form.
I love the little pickup as well for Sumail, getting the Mind Breaker.
Yep.
Can be a great one.
Also, I didn't point this one out, but Zai got the Fey Grenade on the Shaker at 17 minutes. So now we have a lot of potential for some massive burst damage that's coming up from their sides from double, triple totems and whatnot. But OG, as we said, not slowing down.
Absolutely. As soon as someone shows in a lane and they feel that they're alone, they're making moves over there. See top puppy. It's pretty out of the area though.
How do you go for Sumail? BKB Ags with a tethered IO behind him.
It's so hard.
It's going to be such a difficult target. They have to prioritize. They somehow have to find Seb, but it's been very difficult for them. And with the BKB, how does Nisha focus fire him? Because that was Nisha's job for the most part this game.
Yeah, it's pretty much impossible to kill Seb at the start unless they open up with some sort of stun lockdown.
Which they have. They've got that Ags
double shaking.
Yep. He's got a Titan Sliver too, so even stronger with that base damage increase.
Let's see if they can delete first.
Oh, Puppy says hello.
He's just going to walk in on this. He's going to get hit by the Mind Breaker. He needs help, but he needs it now. Puppy, he'll give the Ice Blast over, but Seb's already put the BKB on off to the side. He goes. They lose no tail on the side of OG as Secret out to get to the back of him. Is there going to be any chase? Both teams coming out of the buyback immediately. OG, they will separate though. They back off. And just an awkward way really for Secret to start the fight. Puppy just heading up on the front lines.
I don't think he expected them to be there that soon. Just walk. I'm most surprised that he's the one that walked up so quick himself. As around the Roche pit, most important timing now for the next few minutes. About 35 seconds until that will spawn. We see OG sitting in the pit waiting.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
There we go, Secret. Rather far out here. We'll finish off the tower. Sumail, he's going to try and jump straight onto Nisha. Nisha past the BKB remnant off the side. They're going to go to Seb straight away. Everything thrown down off the eye. They've taken him down. So all over from Saxa. Sam does come out from Simon. Sumail's already popped the ult, ready to go over for more. Chasing down Yapsor. He'll remove the Monkey King out of the fight. A double kill for Sumail. Now ready to go for something else to the side as he's on top of Matumbaman. Waveform out. Sumail looks to Nisha, but now he's going to be frozen in position. Sumail, he's trying to back out, but the cold feet kicks in. Sumail will fall. No tail as well. Cut down by Nisha. But the setup there, Matsu comes in for the finishing blow. Secret, this time round, the execution, it's there. They find Seb, remove the IO from the engagement, and suddenly everything becomes a lot harder for OG. Sumail, he still wants to be able to charge in, but he hasn't quite got that same level of sustain that he had before.
And it was them just clear understanding. He used BKB earlier. They knew it was still on cooldown. If they just commit onto him immediately, that IO's dead. Mars used buyback earlier. No Mars, no Earth for 50.
Just look at this, Seb.
Look how quick they were on him.
Everything just onto this IO, deleted from the team fight.
And then Matu can do whatever the hell he wants inside the fight because now he's got that Ag Shaker. He can just come in and start one-shotting these heroes. As now with an Aegis in a very comfortable spot, Secret, as it's only a 1k lead, but I feel like it's going to start accelerating and building up very quickly for Secret. So OG has to be very careful how they take those fights when BKB are on cooldown.
Absolutely. It's just so much stun, so much AoE and control. It's not easy, even with the enrage alone, for Sumail to fight through.
It's just such an explosive amount of damage that's coming out. It's like anybody gets seen and they're just dead from these totems. As Matu's just hunting.
He's trying to go for Seb.
The headband midair. It's a cute little interaction. And of course we do have the IO shard. That's also something that will be coming into play. These little mini stuns that are kind of come out onto our Morphling and our Shaker that OG does still have. But yeah, with this, much more comfortable position, Secret to look to make more aggressive plays, and an E-Blade now finished for Matu as well.
So much blast here. Jump forward for no tail, but at the same time, Side Nisha onto Saxon. Seb will lead in. They're looking for Yapsor. Matu's able to stand his ground for now, though. Yapsor finally falls. Matu not able to finish off Seb. Self-E-blade here as Matu looks to separate himself from the fight. OG, have they got any further chase? Sumail.
The BKBs are
trying to head in. Sumail, he's going to be able to bring to dodge the initiation, but now the slam, they're holding Sumail in position. Seb trying to come over to give it the backup, but now Zai turns his attention over towards Seb. He doesn't have the damage though, Zai, and Seb will be able to keep himself alive. Nisha's over to the backlines, has chased down No-Tail Matu. He's looking for Seb. Not enough mana to keep chasing onto the Aya, but meanwhile, Nisha and Puppy, they do get Sumail as he's separated from the rest of his team.
There's too much that they have to deal with in the fight. They're trying to focus fire Matu, but then he jumps left. They're trying to focus fire Zai, and he jumps right. Then there's Anisha zipping around to the backlines, killing the supports with fire remnants. It's just so much elusiveness coming out from Secret, and OG does not have the same amount of control that comes out either. They don't have double shakers. They don't have chains and roots coming out anywhere. Much harder fights for them as we're seeing them progress.
And of course, Matu had the Aegis. He's still going to have it for another 3 minutes. Couldn't even get him the once. Definitely the concern starting to show with the sort of draft OG has now that the minutes are passing. 32 minutes in, 5k lead. OG, they've got to look for some phenomenal maneuvers to get Secret knocked back down.
They have the Hex on Thompson, so that'll at least allow them to hold one of those targets down and focus fire them. But yeah, as I was saying, it's just, there's so many things moving around. There's a Monkey King jumping, Amber Remnants. There's so much different chaos that Secret's causing in the fight. And OG has to try to find a way to weather it. But not really seeing too many options as Morphling gets Aegis, he's got Ags. You've lost so much control on the side of OG. This is not the way that their draft wants to play.
I'm in lane, No-Tail. We'll find him a bit of a freebie by the looks of it. He doesn't get that blast off though, and now Nisha jumps in with the Remnant. No-Tail's gonna fall. Over to the side, Zai and Yapso controlling Zaxa. Nisha's looking to jump over to help out as well. I'm ready to go back in with another Remnant. Seb will take the two of them out of there. Have they got the damage? Somehow he's in onto it, but they haven't. They can't even finish him off the watch. Still has that Aegis. Jump back over on Thompson. Trying to run with the E-Blade combo. Comes in. Thompson blown up. Somehow Ponty Bray stays on top of it, but that's only the once. He's going to be back for round 2. Matu. Nisha jumps in. Control on his Seb. He can't get away.
Good lord. This lineup is ridiculous. Once it's timing. I mean, OG is doing some great grabs and trying to get these pickoffs, but there's just too much control. They're too mobile. They're everywhere.
I mean, it's effectively sort of 3 fishes as well. This boundless strike also coming in from Yapso. Just so many lines of stun. It's thrown straight through the heart of the team fight.
Matu. They get the grab on him.
They got enough damage. No, they haven't found Matu. He's going to look to turn. He wants to get aggressive. He's going to try and get in on them. He's going to be looked at for. Here's the backup he required. Zai jumps in. No-Tail to fall. They even look for somebody able to quick blink. Gets him away from the Fisher.
Nice attempt there from OG, but Secret still in the area. Somehow, even though they were just bottom, as we've seen them just flying all over the place on the map, always seem to have the numbers. 12k gold lead. It's quickly swung into their advantage.
And that was quite a confident line there, just straight up into their favor. 91% on the win probability right now for Secret.
There's just too much going on inside the fights. Too many things they have to focus on, while also trying to dodge AA blasts and keep the BKBs at a good timing so that they don't get clipped by it. It's not easy moving forward. And back into Shaker form. Back looking for the plays. Secret gonna continue looking for anything. Any type of battle that they can get now. Yeah, really catching their stride. Lincoln's now on Nisha too, so that Hex that we saw, likely to get countered just because of that.
It's going to be so hard to lock him down.
Yeah. And they've got, we did mention that Yapsar was going for a very greedy item build. He did finish it off in those last 2 fights.
Coming in for the side. Fisher out to Sumail to start things off. Sumail will be able to take out the wall. Jump off for Nisha over to Thompson. They're on top of the Invoker. Thompson trying to run. Turns around with the combo. Ice Blast will miss, but Matu will not. Straight over onto the Invoker. Matu takes out Thompson. Now to Sumail. He needs help, but he needs it down. Seb coming in with the tether. Relocate. Seb will be able to take Sumail out of this fight, but No-Tail's going to be left behind. As OG, they'll still lose 2.
This might be the most entertaining lineup I've ever seen in Dota. Everyone's just jumping back and forth, and they're still going to lose Seb out of it. 105 seconds.
That's a long time. This could be the window that Secret have been looking for to break the high ground.
Oh, they're feeling it. They're high-fiving. They're feeling that big confidence now after these last, 4 or 5 fights that they've just decimated OG in.
And what What can OG do here? 3 dead.
They have to watch. The IO is so crucial for their lineup. Likely to just lose at least 2 sets.
Dire's bottom barracks is fortified.
The bottom rack's cleaned up. Secret straight over to the mid.
The damage from the totems as well.
I mean, look at they're diving in a bit onto Sumail. They're tempted. Sumail getting quite the poke under the tier 4.
Dire's middle barracks are under
I mean, he's going to jump.
He's gonna
try and get on the Superman. Getting on. He's got the shift. He's got the lift. Matu will stay alive. Ready to jump back over the wall. Sumail will bring down the Morphling, but he himself will lose his life for it. Buybacks coming out from OG. Same for Secret. Matu, he's had enough. He's ready to shut this one down as a second set of racks. They commit to kill them all. They do get him. I mean, it is in a position now. Matu dies again. The game might start to get a little bit interesting again.
They still have 30 seconds without the IO, though. They might just be able to commit for the racks.
Are they
It's a
gonna look
little
to
bit
try
risky,
Secret?
but
Radiant's top tower.
potential that they could. And again, it's too many things they have to deal with in the fights. Like you said there, they full commit for the Morphling, but he's not the only problem by
costs
any
them
means.
so much.
Nisha 15, 3, and 20.
Dire's top tower is under
They're also strong right now, Secret.
Creep starting the base, though. Those Forge Spirits in the mid lane.
And to push him out.
Radiant's top tower
So that
is under
buyback, as you
attack.
mentioned, might be a bit of a win condition here now for OG if they're able to find him. It's a very difficult one, but,
But it is
he's got to
one.
be careful.
It is there.
Yeah. Matu's got to be more cautious with his positioning. Oh, look at that. A DD rune. Look at this nice damage on our Morphling. He hasn't even popped the DD yet, but nice little 1,300. Actually more, 1,500.
I mean, also knowing that Roshan should be up rather soon again here, so something that is going to offset that risk of Matu using the buyback to get straight back in action.
And finding some big
minutes.
neutral items as well. Timeless Relic picked up on the side of Secret.
Oh my goodness, yeah, give it to these shakers and
Yeah.
the stuns.
Or the Ember Spirit. I mean, I'm fine with that too. He's pretty good with
That's
it.
a lot of damage.
OG.
Sumail, he's found Puppy, he's trying to get in, we'll get pushed back. Sansa goes in the eye, pushes him over the inside, jumps in for the side. Sumail got the BKB off in time though, as he turns towards the shaker, takes him out. Matu trying to find no-tail, wait for him over to the side. Seb bringing Sumail out to the side for now. We'll see the jump from Matu, he's staying on top of it. There's the hit, slams out Sumail. Sumail hits the deck out for 2 minutes on the Ursa.
Look at that damage. Over 1,800 damage on our Morphling.
That's a big number.
He just smacks Sumail, and now Seb returns as well to his death.
And now 3 dead, no buybacks on OG. Secret with the 4 of them up, they can look to run down mid.
Thompson, he showed himself for a second, but whoop, whoop. We'll slip away.
He's trying to create a distraction, sort of push them away from the base, but Secret, they are definitely going to have their eyes on the Megas, and maybe even more.
Dire's top
To
tower
have buybacks
is under
available on
attack.
No-Tail and Saxa, but 90 seconds no Sumail, a minute without Seb. There's the buyback, No-Tail. Can they buy any time for their 2 cores to get back up?
It's got to be so scary for Thompson.
Dire's top tower
I mean, Saxa is going to get a jump in. They are able to get the spear off. Do they have the damage? Sunstrike coming down, but he's in there with the Revenants. Matu, he's got too much HP. They can't burst through it. Buyback comes out for Thompson, but Saxa will fall. Also, with his buyback, looking to try and hold with just the 2 of them. The Secret, the damage is being done. The top racks are gone. The Mega Crease will be out, and the jump over to Saxa. As soon as he's back in, he's back out again. Remnant over to Thompson. Thompson goes down. Everybody dead on OG as Secret
GG.
now close it up. GG is called, and Team Secret will take game 1 of this best of 3.
They went for the strong scaling lineup, but saying that does take away a little bit of how much they're still able to fight in the early game. We see OG trying relentlessly to battle into them, but Secret still has good team fight with this double shaker even before those big levels come out for everybody. And Yapsor's greedy build does pay off with that Scotty later on, and OG, they try to run into it, but a couple too many deaths, especially on Thompson. He ends 4 and 11, trying to be that support kind of style invoker, but does end up hurting them versus the Secret draft.
Yeah, slowed down big time for him, and Sumail